Terima kasih atas kebersamaannya Profesional Sindo. Anda masih menyimak Talk to CEO malam hari ini yang langsung kami siarkan dari MNC Tower, Menteng, Jakarta Pusat. Silakan untuk Anda yang bergabung. Kami masih menunggu Anda. SMS di 0812 111 1046. Sekali lagi WhatsApp kami di 0896 01525458 dan juga Twitternya di @Sindo Trijaya FM. Oke. Untuk Anda yang baru saja bergabung, malam hari ini tamu kami sangat spesial. Ini adalah Duta Besar Amerika Serikat Indonesia, ada Mr. Robert Blake yang sudah bersama kami. Tadi kita sudah sempat singgung sedikit seperti apa saja kegiatannya Mr. Robert Blake ini, Professional Sindo ya. So, yang saya ingin tahu sekarang ini pasti banyak juga di antara Anda yang ingin tahu seperti apa sih sebenarnya tentang hubungan Indonesia dengan Amerika sejauh ini. So, Sir, how would you describe U.S. relationship with Indonesia so far?
Relations are really excellent, and I would say growing. As you remember, President Obama came here a few years ago, and he and then President Yudhoyono agreed to what we call a comprehensive partnership. So as a result of that, now our two countries are cooperating on a wider range of issues than any time in our history. And what's really great about it is not just government to government, but business relations, and of course university to university, NGOs, and of course the most important of all, people to people ties. And all of those are going very, very well and expanding. So again, it's a great time to be here.
Okay. What do you like about, what are the main points that can be improved between the two countries, beside of the points and beside of the things that you said before?
Yeah, well, I'd say we're always looking to try to expand trade between our two countries, because of course that's the best way to create jobs in both Indonesia and the United States. And our bilateral trade is about $28 billion, which is good, but we think it could be better. And so we're doing everything we can to encourage more business delegations to come here from the United States. We've had 3 so far in the last couple of months, and more are coming. And I think people are very interested in the new opportunities that President Jokowi has outlined in the maritime sector, in the power sector. And then we want to do much more in education, because we feel there's tremendous opportunities to build ties between our American universities and Indonesian universities, get more Indonesian students to go to the United States and more American students to come here, because that's where the way you really build understanding, and you really build long-lasting friendships. So that's another very high priority.
Okay. And how would you describe leadership and negotiation style for her?
My negotiation style? Well, first of all, we don't really do that much negotiation now between Indonesia and the United States. It's more trying to seize opportunities, and I wouldn't say that there are any great, disputes between our two countries. It's more trying to figure out where the opportunities might be. But if I were to characterize my leadership style, it would be, first of all, I try to be as inclusive as possible. So before I make a decision, I try to get all the different viewpoints from my staff and maybe from civil society as well. And then after that, try to be decisive, make a decision. Don't keep everybody waiting. Also be a good communicator, both inside your organization but also outside. And then the last thing I would say is to be respectful. And everybody's respectful towards their bosses, but it's equally important to be respectful to the people below you. And that's the sign, I think, of a very good leader, and somebody who's really going to be respected and loved by the people in his organization. So I try to do that as well.
So it seems like like meeting people, talking with people in below or your staff. And what interesting thing about meeting people, new people, or talking about anything with people?
Well, one of the things that we try to do in our embassies, we've identified about 10 cities all around Indonesia that we want to do more with, in addition to the big cities in Medan and Surabaya and Jakarta. And so every city that I go to, we do a little bit of social media in advance, and we say, what food should Ambassador Blake eat while he's there? And then what local personality should Ambassador Blake meet? And so, we get all kinds of different suggestions, and it's a wonderful way to reach out to people. And then I've done a lot of crazy things. I have a very creative staff.
Okay.
So they're always suggesting
how crazy, I want to hear
funny things for me to do. So we can talk more about that later.
Okay. So, in 10 cities in Indonesia so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess you have a favorite food in that city. What kind of your favorite food so far?
Well, I have to say I'm since I spend so much time in Jakarta, if I could eat one thing every single day for every single meal, it would be soto Betawi. I love it. I think it's just delicious. So my wife gets tired of me because I'm always asking for it. But so I love that. Of course, everybody loves satay. Beef rendang. I love. There's so many things. But any kind of soto, I think. I love seeing the different kinds of soto everywhere, and also the different kinds of tempeh. So it's kind of a good experiment to see what kind of tempeh you can get. Tempeh bacem, tempeh this, tempeh that. So
I think you're more Indonesian than Indonesian people.
No,
so you're
no.
like soto, tempeh.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to experiment and to see what other people like, and tastes are different. One of the greatest things we did, again, this was an idea of my great staff. We had a kaki lima night at my house. And so we invited all these food trucks into the house, and I think there were 9 of them from all over Jakarta, and each of them were serving different kinds of food. And so we invited a lot of the food bloggers and the writers, and we had the best time.
Okay.
And I think that was about 2 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was a really fun night, and again, great way to increase
It's going to be
friendship.
regular?
Yes, definitely, because it was such a hit. We
Okay.
loved it. And then we even had a guy, an Indonesian guy who makes tacos. I think of tacos as being Mexican American, but in fact he did some kind of great Indonesian versions of tacos. So that was fun too. So we had a little bit of fusion as well.
Okay. Don't forget to invite me in.
I'm sorry, this was a terrible oversight on my part.
Okay. In 10 cities that you've been travel,
Yes.
What is the most memorable time when you go there?
Boy, that's a hard question. I'd say the most memorable are the cultural things that I do. If somebody were to say where are my favorite places, I love going to Solo and Jogja because of the incredible cultural things, the music, the history, the traditions. So that would certainly be a favorite. The other thing, I'm an outdoor person, so I love to go and climb volcanoes, and I like to go diving. So those are also favorite experiences of mine as well.
Wow.
And Indonesia has some of the most incredible outdoor experiences in the world that many Indonesians, I don't think, are not even aware of. So they're always happy to hear about some of the great experiences that I've had.
It's kind of a dream, maybe.
Well, it's wonderful. It's a dream for me, for sure.
Oke, menarik ya, Profesor Sindo ternyata ambasador Amerika yang satu ini, Mr. Robert Blake ini senang sekali mengikuti ataupun juga menjalani kegiatan-kegiatan outdoor. Kalian tahu juga ya kalau ternyata Bapak Robert Blake ini senang sekali kegiatan seperti diving, lalu juga tadi mendaki gunung dan sebagainya, dan juga kuliner. Menarik ya, bahkan 2 bulan yang lalu juga sempat mengadakan acara kuliner kaki lima di rumahnya dan juga menghadirkan banyak sekali pedagang-pedagang kaki lima di sana. Nah, lalu sekarang yang menarik lagi sebenarnya seperti apa dan bagaimana perjalanan karir dari seorang Robert Blake sampai akhirnya menjadi seorang diplomat seperti sekarang. Nanti kita akan ngobrol lebih jauh lagi. So, we're gonna talking about your how do you become a diplomat?
Sure.
Next time.
Okay, great.
So, Profesor Sindo, silakan Anda juga bisa bersama kami. Anda bisa kirimkan SMS di 0812111146 ataupun juga halo WhatsApp kami di 089601525458. Kami akan kembali untuk Anda sesaat lagi.